Hi there YouTube, XtremeTrainz here. So in this video we're taking a look at what I think is the last Thomas Wood item to ever be produced. Touch wood, maybe I'm wrong on that one. And it's one which has only been released in Japan as far as I'm aware, but it's got a bunch of firsts for the Thomas Wood line. What are we waiting for? Let's cut to the chase. It's Thomas Wood Kenji. Let's do it. So let's take a look at Kenji. So really interestingly, Kenji has got this, I assume this is Japanese, and says Kenji on it. And it's been like stuck over what I assume is the normal label, which has his name on it. I'm not really sure. I can't seem to get it off without ripping the whole thing. Let's see if we can get it off. This is going to be live on camera, whether we can get this off and what it says underneath. Yeah, there you go. It does say Kenji, I think, in English underneath. Unsure. So that's interesting, because given this has only been released in Japan, they obviously prepared it to release globally. You can see you got a picture of Kenji there. The red cheeks is weird because he didn't normally have them. That was just when he was embarrassed or tired. See him in there. And then there you go. We've got, even though he's international, we've got this big sticker here, which is annoying because it's covering up the bio. So let's see if we can pull that off because we want to love these Thomas Wood bios. We know how much fun they are. No, that's just... Yeah, so you can't really read the bio. But again, I think it's good, and you get a nice picture of Kenji design there. So there we go. That's that one. Sad. I tried to get it off, and I could not. But let's crack him open anyway and take a look at the engine inside. All right, here is Kenji. Let's bring him up for or at least the engine kind of part of him up for the 360. This really... without saying too much right now, feels like a labor of love from the Thomas Wood team, a bit of a last hurrah, because this is just so different to all the other things we got from Thomas Wood. There's all these new exclusive pieces. Yeah, where do we start? Okay, let's start with the face. So we've got a really nice, I think, Kenji face here. It's pretty small, but his face was pretty small in the show, so that's good. Let me get it to focus. Yeah, I think the face looks really good. I think the front cowling looks good. The windscreen, I'm not 100% what they were going for with this weird line. I assume it was meant to be like the reflection of the sun. I would have preferred the windows just to have been like, yeah, see, I think it's meant to have been like all the blinds down or something. I don't know. It's really weird. I would have preferred just like all to be painted blue rather than trying to, put this weird movement in there, because I think it looks like it's a mistake. It's very weird. That's okay. But that is nice detailing. I like to go printed there. As you can see, this whole front section from this line here forward is all a big plastic piece, which is interesting. And then I think his running board, I'm trying to work it out. It feels like his whole running board as well. This purple part, purpley blue part, is also a big plastic piece. Which is really interesting because I haven't seen any real other Thomas Wood engines that have done that. And I think it's really, again, it's nice, it's clever, it's a good use of plastic to get that cowling on the front. And then you can see he's got the wood just at the back here. Excellent detailing. Again, if we come in closer, the camera's gonna focus. Yep, there we go. You can see nice detailing. Again, the weird window stuff's happening, but that's fine. We come onto the top, and I think what has surprised me is I think they really easily could have got away. And I actually thought they had. They just used the same pantograph pieces as Etienne. I think these ones are better. I think they're a bit more accurate, a bit more detailed, more streamlined. But just for reference, that's what Etienne's look like. And this is what Kenji's look like. So again, they've made a whole new part just for this engine. And I don't think they needed to do that. We get, once again, the back printed detail. Where has this been the whole time? Questions, I have many. Again, looks really good too. A little bit off center, unfortunately. And it does feel like, again, they've tried to like make him look thinner than he actually is. But I appreciate it for being there. That's really cool. And then we come down to, just the black wheels, normal printing on the bottom. This is a first, as far as I can tell. The Made in Indonesia cutout print on the bottom. Again, this is the most recent Etienne, nothing on the bottom there. And I did have a look at the packet, and unlike other Thomas Wood models, which were made in China, this one said Made in Indonesia with parts made in China. So, what? Like, Mattel, I don't understand. Like, you're about to discontinue this line, and then for this single engine, have made components in different places. I'm so confused. Unless this is a preview for what the new replacement Thomas Wood thing is going to look like for the reboot. I don't know. I really don't know. But very weird just choices. But I think, again, this is going to be beyond. This is a very good Thomas Wood model. It's also a lot heavier. if you just feel this Etienne one, for example, who's another blocky kind of engine, feels about twice as heavy. And I don't know if that's because, you know, it's actually more wood. It's probably because it's got this plastic, but that's good. It makes it feel very, you feel it in hand. You're like, wow, this is a solid piece of engine. Yeah, it's good. The next thing we get a carriage for Kenji. And it's weird because on the one hand, it's obviously tender sized because it's so small and it's called Kenji's car. Interesting. Like, it's tender sized, but it's meant to be a carriage. So why they didn't just include a full length carriage, I'm not sure. Part of me thinks because they didn't want to have to cut it open to put a person in there, because that would have ruined it. That's my guess of why they didn't do that. As well as obviously to keep him kind of in that tender engine kind of category. So it does look a bit weird, but I think, again, they've gone really above and beyond with this one. You can see we've got that plastic piece again. Did that have to be there for this one? Absolutely not. They could have just painted a line on there, but they've got that plastic piece in there to give you that nice purple line. You've got the printing again on the side, another pantograph on the top, printing on the front and the back. Again, I don't think there's any of the tenders that have that I've seen, so that is really cool. And again, you can see all the text on the bottom, and these couple together, and they look really nice together. Like, obviously, it's weird, you know? It's weird, it's caricatured, it's odd, as is all of Thomas Wood, but I think by Thomas Wood standards, this Kenji is really, like, he is, you know, I think they really did, I feel like, go all out for this final Thomas Wood model, and I think Kenji is an excellent example of how they could have done this line, I think, relatively well within its own kind of quirky, you know, dimensions and quirky design choices and design language. And Kenji just shows that when they put in effort, they actually can make a really nice model in this, you know, theme or with this vision. And they just kind of were very lazy at the start and weren't trying very hard to end up with weird things like Kevin, who looked like awful. So I don't know why they didn't do this earlier, but he does feel like a bit of a send-off item for this line. So now quickly for a comparison, he is next to Thomas. And again, obviously, you know, the weirdness of this line, the faces actually aren't too different in size. I think that's fine. Obviously the length is a bit of a problem, but I think, for example, because Kenji was an express engine with coaches, I think having the tender kind of helps make up for that, because you can kind of imagine that the tender and him are kind of one, well, the tender, the coach, whatever you want to call it, are kind of one engine, and it's just like, you know, it's all kind of one. One thing I didn't point out on this tender too is that it's actually got these curved lines. Like, it's not just a square block like all the other tenders, it's rounded on the side. So again, labor of love. Yeah, so I think that is interesting. If we compare it to his other electric counterpart, 200 times more electric than in Thomas Wooden Railway. Why didn't they advertise it like that, eh? You can see again, I think they look pretty cool together. You know, modern, sleek. It's an interesting look. I'm kind of about it. Yeah, really, really nice. I'm quite impressed. So let's very briefly talk about availability and price. Okay, so as you can see, Kenji is a pretty good model, but he's also a very expensive model. So as I alluded to in my Etienne video, I also ordered this from Truly Thomas UK, and then they said that it was only being released in Japan apparently, so it was very hard to get. And they are charging 30 British pounds for him, which is about 55, 60 Australian dollars, which is a lot for, you know, pretty small Thomas Wood engine, which is, you know, he's not any bigger than, he's heavier, but he's not any bigger size-wise than any of the other tender engines. And for reference, for example, the repainted Gordon, Emily, James all sell for like 1750 pounds on that store. So yeah, he is, you know, double in price to them, and I don't know whether that's the actual retail price would have been more expensive because he's got all these new parts and extra plastic, or whether that price is because of the fact that they had to be imported and has a very limited release. But either way, I think that for that price, again, pushing it as to whether I can say it's good value. If he'd been released regularly everywhere, which I don't know why he wasn't, I guess because no one wanted Thomas Wood because, you know, Mattel buggered it up so bad. Then I think he would have been an absolute bargain. Like, if he'd been even, like, say, 20 pounds versus 17.50 for the other ones, I would say absolutely, hands down, I think the best Thomas Wood model. And that the reason for that is that he just really captures, I think, the details in this kind of scale really, really well. You can see there's been a lot of care and effort put into trying to do the best they could with the range they had. And so I think it's pretty good. There's a lot of love, I think, that went into making this model. And that's why it kind of does feel like a bit of a, here's our last model we're doing for this line. We're going to give all our budget to it and do everything we can to make it good. So it is pretty cool. Yeah, so if you can find it for a price, or you're happy, you know, you don't really care about the price, then yeah, go for it. Again, I combined this into an order with a bunch of other things, because otherwise it would have been about 70 Australian dollars, which is a lot to pay for a little wooden train. A wooden train, which even if it's good, you know, obviously the Thomas Wooden Railway version would have been a lot better. So, you know, there's that. So yeah, that is kind of my thoughts on the pricing. I would absolutely love, though, to hear other people's thoughts on whether or not you vibe it. Again, you can see these are the two electric engines, also happen to be the two hardest to get Thomas Wood items, I think, in the world, for whatever reason. So yeah, that is my review of Thomas Wood Kenji. I would love to hear your thoughts below about Thomas Wood, about Thomas Kenji, about the fact that it's apparently almost 100% confirmed to be ending, but also confusion. Do they sell Thomas Wood anywhere where you live? I haven't seen it in stores forever. I know a lot of shops in Australia, especially like little independent toy stores, have just like stopped stocking Thomas. I know a lot of the department stores in the big, or like the big kind of, you know, your Kmart, Target kind of thing. In the smaller versions of those stores, they just don't sell Thomas at all. So for example, near where I live, there's like a Target in the city centre, shopping centre, and it's a pretty small Target, so it just doesn't stock any Thomas at all anymore. And so, you know, let me know where you're finding this stuff, because yeah, I really have not seen very much of it at all anymore, and that is a big concern. If, you know, again, why is the show going badly? Maybe because the kids can't buy the toys. But as you would have seen, that is a topic for another video. If you want to see my other video about the DVD distribution in Australia, absolutely check out that video. I'll put a link to the description below. This video has gone for way too long. Thanks very much for watching, guys. That's all we've got time for. This is XtremeTrainz.